Well, hi Sonia.
Hi, Laura.
It's so nice. Thank you so much for coming on to talk to me and
Oh,
have a little chat.
absolutely.
First of all, how are you doing today? How is
Oh,
the emotions going?
better. Thank you. Much better. I had quite a time of it. I've got family members that have all been bioengineered into death, and the only ones that are going to be left standing are my two daughters and my niece.
All right, yeah, that's tough. What was
So,
that?
I will only have my two daughters,
Yeah,
my niece, left
yeah.
standing out of the entire family structure. Everyone else went and got their bioweapon.
Well, they made their choice, obviously.
And with my mouth, can you imagine how I did everything in my power to stop them from doing it? I
Yeah.
didn't stand there idly watching them. I did everything I could. I said every argument. I showed them proof. I tried to do everything to no avail.
Yeah, that's hard. I've had my friend talk to me about the same situation she's into. And the point is also that they are attacking. It's not only that, they make their decision, although we keep sharing, we keep telling them, trying to be compassionate, but then if you don't want to do it, you get attacked.
Oh, yes, I've been severely attacked because I'm unhinged, I'm unsettled, I'm a lunatic, I'm insane, I'm not going along with the given propaganda agenda, and there's something seriously wrong with me.
Well, then there's something seriously wrong with us all because we are a lot of people.
Yes, yes,
Oh.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm glad to hear that you're doing a bit better. This can be really draining and disappointing and emotional if you just want the best for your family and then
Yeah. My brother said something to me once, and it was just a couple days ago. He said, I guess you're going to be so happy if we drop dead. And I said, do you think that makes me happy? That breaks my heart.
wow.
I mean, it's like, you know, it's
Yeah,
hard.
the guilt tripping is because both sides think that they're right and they just want the best, but the terms or the measures or the energy in which it is delivered is very different from what I've seen also from my friends and things like that. But I think it's also a big theme of setting boundaries,
Oh,
and
yeah.
people are not setting their boundaries and putting just their faith. Although there is so much trouble with everything that has been happening throughout the past 1.5 years, but also before that. But yeah, yeah, it's an interesting situation. I've had problems with my family members too, not because of this situation, but just generally boundary setting, and people are disrespecting and not acknowledging that, and it's
Yeah.
just wild. And then they're blaming it on you, and I'm like, well, why?
You're the bad guy because you're not complying.
Yeah, with whatever we want, with whatever guilt you want to be put on you, and then if you don't want to do it, we're gonna shame you, and it's just the same old game.
Yeah.
Macro, macro,
I
macro,
was
macro.
debating if I would ever say this out loud, especially on a video, but you know what? I'm going to say it now.
All
I've
right.
been saying this to Campbell and Colum and Arthur, and I think Martin's probably saw the text that we have when we talk.
Yeah.
Something happened in 2017, and our world ended as we know it, which is why the moon is upside down, and we're not in the same place in space anymore. That's the start.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the next part. A lot of us didn't make it. What happens if a lot of us didn't make it and the ones that made it went psychotic because everything they were told was a lie? Everything that they knew, their foundations were gone, and they began to go psychotic, and you had to put them back through a simulation,
Mm-hmm.
some kind of scenario to let them come up to par to what's already happened. And it's the ones that survive that have to get a grip on the reality that's happened because something already happened. We're always thinking it's coming, but it already happened.
It's interesting that you're starting with this, because this is one of my points that I wrote down that I wanted to pick your mind on. Because I find this, the more edgy, the better for me. The juice is in the really, really out there perspectives, and I love that. So okay, so let me ask you this question. On what level was this change made in 2017, you said, right?
In 2017, we had the Samvartica fires come in, and it destroyed our reality. A lot of us didn't make it because, let me start at the beginning. Our sun has been in transition for a very long time. It's no longer in our dimension, okay? The sun is connected to Gaia because they are energy beings. The sun ended up going ahead of Gaia because Gaia was holding back behind because she made an agreement with everyone here that she would be the foundation of a unified growth progress. She was hijacked. So she said, because she should have went with the sun, and that meant that she was going to transition into a different frequency dimension, which means that anyone that was left her or not be in that same place in space, and they would be left in nowhere land. Because I'm seeing timelines behind me disappearing, where before it was a figure eight and we would just travel on this figure eight over and over in a cycling loop because we were, well, she jumped the track. And that meant two things. You either get left behind and you get reassimilated, or you go with her. The problem was that most of us weren't ready because we were so dumbed down. We were diminished as beings, and so sacrificed through this reincarnation scheme, it had lowered us from who we truly were. Beings came in when this happened, and they took us. We couldn't handle the truth because it was too much, too fast, too soon, and everyone we knew we loved was lost. So they put us back through a simulation to get far slowly so we can come to the inevitable conclusion that it is what it is. So we wouldn't go psychotic. You cannot take a foundation away from any being, and I don't just mean one foundation, all of them, and think that they're going to be mentally capable of handling tomorrow, because they can't.
Yeah. Okay, let me quickly do a recap, because you kind of went in and out of reality while you were talking about that. So I'm just going to quickly recap that. So basically, the transition into a next density already happened because it was already time, and the sun already progressed in that matter, in that way. But the Earth, because the Earth is consciousness, is made of out of the beings that are on her too, because it was too low, too diminished, too degenerated, basically. And could not move on into the next phase, into the next frequency, because the frequency of us, or of most of us, was too low, and without the foundation we couldn't handle reality. And I think this is also, we see a bit of that already right now. Again, is that a lot of people are not really gonna handle it. Okay, so this basically this simulated reality that we are basically kind of repeating to help those who were left behind. Okay, so is this the perspective from that when you were talking about that you saw yourself on a ship, and about the immersion pods and the immersion program basically inserting us back into time? Is it like that, or is it more of a reality bubble, or is it both? What would you say?
It's actually, it's more than both. It's more than both. It is very, okay, let me just start by, this is for a 3D mind, but I will describe it the best that I can. Because in our 3D minds, we don't have the spectrum of, okay? I don't know how else to say that. But in the beginning, when I woke up out of this, it was a couple decades ago, before the 2000s, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When I woke up out of this, I, of course, had everything come back in because I was myself again,
Yeah.
who I was in that ship. And I had such a great sense of loss that I threw myself back in. I didn't put the safeguards on because I don't know if I was not quite all the way in and out and still split. And because I retained all of that, that's not allowed. That's not allowed.
Yeah.
But it happened. For whatever reason, it happened. So when I look at the whole perspective, we are put into these simulation pods. I'm actually in the seat because I was the captain of that vessel. That's why I could go in and out. I can no longer go in and out. They cut that off for me. I'm done. So if there is no such thing as time or space, because everything exists in the now,
Yeah.
you can go into simulation reality, and you can go in at any point, and you can manipulate, you can change it, because everything is mutable. If you went over it 100 million times and you kept coming out with the same outcome, you would just do it again. You get the outcome. Does that help any? Does that help? Time Wars. Did you ever wonder if Time Wars were actually, what are they? It's a manipulation of the now.
Yep. All right.
I know it's hard. It's hard to wrap because we have these 3D concepts, because we have these 3D minds. Because we are disconnected and our pineal and pituitary gland have been so shrunk, and they welded one of our chromosomes together, 2 of them, they cut us off from our higher selves. Because if we didn't have the chromosomes that were welded together on a genetical manipulation to shut us down, which caused our pineal and our pituitary gland to get real small, we would be able to think in these concepts because we wouldn't be confined to the little 3D reality, linear reality. We could go higher.
Yeah, sure. No, I was just worried because you were very, very blurry and it cut you off, but now you're clear. Right.
I might.
So I'm really familiar with the concepts, and I have my own immersion problems sometimes with I have problem. Well, you probably too. Oh, now you're clear. Oh, that's good. Now I can see you good.
I have really high energy frequency, and when I move my arms because I talk with my hands, I'm spreading energy, and the AI does not correlate well with me because I can turn AI off completely with the energy. We are powerful gods, and we need to wake up to that. Everything in this construct is energy, as we are, but we have a higher, more powerful energy than anything in this construct, and we need to learn how to manipulate it because the bad guys do all the time.
Yeah, sure. They for sure do it, and they mock us with that.
They put it in our face.
Where to go next? Oh, I wanted to ask your perspective on something related to the night sky.
Okay.
So, in the concept of we perceive what we are as a collective, what do you think about the perspective of most of the, let's call them interdimensional beings? They would call, well, other people call them aliens, ETs, whatever. I think interdimensional is more of a correct term because I think that every plane is its own density, and Earth is like a really extreme example of an extreme, like very manipulated low frequency. That the interdimensionals that, let's say, are perceived by not the masses, but that are most popular, like, you know, the Arcturians, Pleiadians, whatever. What about the perspective that these are other versions of Earth, and that they refer to themselves just by the frequency of the light being, or of the frequency being that we see in the sky, the night sky, as stars? What do you think about that?
Okay, I'm going to make this real simple, and then I'm going to bring it down, so you can understand it. First off, every single energy being in this existence has done everything. You were the alien. You were this, you were that, you were whatever. Now, some of us have decided to come into this 3D density to get it out of its perpetual loop, okay?
Yeah.
I have around me orbs all the time, and all they are beings without the corporeal shell.
Yeah.
We can go from pure thought, which is the highest aspect of any being, with nothing, not an energy being, nothing. It's just thought. That is from the God source. You can call it God. Down to a more, some kind of physical, it could be even like a ghost, or it could be like an orb. And then you can get even down further, which is into the physical bodies. And that's anything here, which is still not the thickest density, because actually crystalline energy is the thickest density. You would think trees and plants would be, but it's not. Crystalline energy, it's the thickest density with the highest frequency.
Ah, gotcha.
Okay, if that makes any sense. Because of what it is, it can actually have and hold and carry and promote the higher energy because of its shell, which is the crystalline material. Everything that comes into us right now, some of it is false and some of it is real. The bad guys, let's just call them that, the elites, have also made up beings where they say this is the beings and this is what they are, and they'll come and they'll talk, but there's a manipulation in everything they say. Yeah. So you have to distinguish what is actually still in 3D, manipulating to make you believe it's higher density, or what actually is higher density.
Yeah, and that's the second theme, right? Besides boundaries, it is discernment. And that is individual. Because if someone else needs to tell you what is real, well, then you still don't think for yourself and don't feel sense for yourself.
Because the thing is, right now, everyone who does critical thinking, they need to examine everything you and I say, take what resonates with them, and leave the rest behind. Because that's critical thinking and resignation. I mean, I can't tell you anything. You can't tell me anything. We have to take what resonates with us, and we have to, this is done on an individual basis, because it isn't going to be a group thing. If you need to raise your frequency and go out of this perpetual loop, which we already have, or even to make this next step, let me tell you something. Some of the people that made it are still sitting on the fence. I call them fence sitters. They made it, but they're still fence sitters. And there's a lot of them out there. And it's their choice right now to continue down this road to the new earth, because we're already in it, or to be out of it completely. And they'll go and take their bioweapon, because in the end, it's still their choice. Some of them are NPCs, because we need to come to a conclusion and a closure of them not being in our reality anymore. Those are the ones that no matter what you say, no matter what you do, they run and they just have to do their duty, because they're NPCs and they're being driven to exit the scene.
Interesting.
Because they're not okay.
Interesting fence. So it's basically if they want to continue the game,
basically,
and carry the consequences, or if they want to have like stand their ground, basically, right?
Yes, basically. So it's not real easy, cut and dry. I have a lot of people asking me, who's an NPC? Who is real? What is real? in the moment that you're in, everything is pretty real to me. This table's real. That refrigerator's real. You're real. Because it all comes back to the individual once more.
Yeah, and where you place your intention on. I mean,
Yes.
you can go up to a stranger and have tried to talk to them, and you will see their reaction, and maybe they seem very real. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just a very exquisite program that has been written.
Yes. Because in this reality that we're in right now, programs, our tech in this reality is so high we can't even fathom it. Things are created in the moment that you're there and then gone when you walk away.
Yep.
This is being done so you never feel alone. How many people around you are created so you don't feel alone?
Yeah, but we have to get to a nicer creation, because it's really depressing. Not all, it's the state that people are even just physically in. You can see that they're not in a healthy state, and it doesn't matter if they're well clothed or not. Well, what I see and what I feel just throughout my life when I walk around is a numbness and a sense of self-hate, that no matter how much fun they seem to have, it is still not fulfilling. It's kind of empty, and this is what freaks me out, and this is why when I rediscovered this perspective of energy beings, not real people, matrix people, whatever you want to call them, it's kind of it kind of gave me closure with that feeling that it's fake, that it's not real, that they pretend to be real. It's not really real. But you have to play the game, right? You cannot go around like you're not real. You're gonna end up very isolated.
Yeah. I have it too, where I'll come across people and they're kind of vacant. It's like, oh, you were just created so I could bounce myself off of you. And how will I this scenario? Because in the end, it's a high frequency. We can't carry it for a minute. We got to carry it forever and then go from there to there. You can't keep dipping down. The problem is that if you're in a higher frequency and you don't carry the high frequency, you'll literally blow apart. You can't be there. You just can't be there.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is being done, and they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at us to see if we can carry that high frequency regardlessly.
And with what word, what emotion would you describe your favorite feeling of higher frequency?
My favorite high frequency is when I'm out in nature and I feel nothing but joy. I have zero negativity in my reality. I've also learned that negativity is like a worm trying to worm itself into your brain. You have to put up blocks on negativity because it'll do everything it can to keep you down in negativity. It doesn't want to lose you. So, because it's feeding off of you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I decided that what would I rather have? Dealing in negativity, or you know what? I acknowledge everything for what it is. I see what's happening around me, but I'm not going down that path. I'm not going down that road. I make the rules. I make the laws. I'll make the decision how it goes. And everyone has to think like this.
Yep. Because you can really get lost in all of the drama and everything that, and every information that we have available now. And I think this is also a part of the boundary setting, is that, okay, do I really have to look at all of the crazy stuff that always has been happening and will continue probably to happen for those that will focus on that, or do I just want to look at this butterfly and feel joy and happy and create this bubble of frequency around me, so that when people walk by me, they get a kick, they get a little, a little shock.
Can spread, negative or positive. It's all done with intent. They're doing everything they can to keep everything in a negative. We have to likewise push back and do everything in the positive, because it does make a difference. It really does.
Yeah. And I've heard that over the past, I think, week, because I decided for myself too that I want to take a little bit of a step back. I've absorbed and remembered everything that I needed to. I feel I've completed that part, and now I need to focus, and I want to focus more on the moment and joy. Like, not as a escapism. I'm now aware of all of this, and I remember a lot of myself. So it's now really, like you said, making the like a sharp intent to really create an anchor of a higher vibration.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's talking about it. The first thing is you're going to have to get off their biggest weapon, and that's the propaganda media. And because this is a mind war. We're
It's
in a
awful.
mind war.
And I cannot imagine that people actually still have televisions. I think last time I owned a television, I was 15. So like for half of my life, I don't own a television. And it's just theater. It's really, really theater. And it's going to continue feeding you this negativity. Never ending. And then you go out the door and your perception then is like clogged by that energy, and you perceive the world around you way more harsh than it actually is when you are in a balanced state.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I tell you, when I go out into the world and I see these people who have their masks on in a car by themselves,
Yep.
I know for a fact that they are NPCs. They really are. Here's the thing. I've talked to enough people. A lot of them that are so terrified are like, there's nothing after this life. This is all there is. I know they're an NPC, because if you are an eternal being, you just know this is only one thing. You just know it. You inherently just, this isn't all there is. No. But an NPC, this is all there is. They were specifically written as a program running. And this is all there is. And they will be reassimilated into the hive mind again. Because in the end, a lot of us didn't make this. So they are replaced with NPCs.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I really like that version. It's a really interesting one, because it gives it another kick, because it's like a simulation and a simulation and a simulation. It's like, those Russian dolls.
Yes, the
And
stacking doll.
basically Gaia is also like that, within the different layers and the different densities and the different frequencies within her. It's very similar, right? But this is just sort of it's just an artificial one. That's why it feels so weird. It just feels weird. And I've never understood that people just, okay, I mean, it is one thing to, get born in this system and accept it, just like, all right, this is how it is. It sucks, but this is how it is. But it's another thing to not even question, not even recognize that this is not good. This is not the best we can do, and this is not the best we've ever had, because we were better before, right? With the whole false history thing, I think it got way out of hand since then, and now, kind of have to fix it.
We were conquered. That was the biggest problem. When we have these events that happen, you can call them Antarctic fires. And I've said this on other videos. Everything is run in energy in Gaia. It's not that we're spinning around, but the energy is. And when it gets real low, like a top spinning, it needs to be respun. And what happens is, when it gets respun, we have all this electrical events going on, and it's the Antarctica fires. And what it does is it starts the top to spin again, which is just the energy flowing. And this has happened. This is why a lot of beings live inside of Gaia instead of topside, because it's never going to stop happening. This is just another one of those events that has happened, except this one's different, because when the sun started to move into the higher dimension, you can call it that. It was pulling Gaia, and she was resisting, and so it got really tight with their connection. It's like taking a rubber band and pulling into the, and then when you let it go, what happens? Boom!
Yeah.
So she could no longer stay in the 3D, and when that happened, that's when the big spinning event came, because she was at her lowest level, where she could still exist, where she wouldn't completely be diminished to nothing. In order for her to get it hardened shell, she let herself diminish down. And that's how everything needs to build on something. This is how that works. She had an agreement to do this because of her huge, you might well say, heart, her love of other energy beings. In the end, we're not human. We're just having a human experience. It's just the shell. So she had an agreement with all of us energy beings that she would provide surface area so we could have the lower density reality, so we could have physical shells. She's not the only one. There are other, I guess you can call them cosmic eggs. Martin Kenney always talks about the cosmic egg, but he doesn't realize what it really is. It's an energy being that's allowed herself to diminish. I say her, but Gaia is not really male or female. All energy beings are not male or female. They're just energy beings, and they run on a certain frequency. They either run blue or red, and it's the frequency they carry, because the frequency causes the color. And we're not strictly blue and red. There's other colors in us too. So when the sun got far enough away, she rubber banded out of this, and that's when in 2017 our Earth had a fall. Basically, it was the 3D corporeal beings would never have anything to left standing on, because she simply wasn't in that dimension anymore. It would be like smoke and mirrors, it's gone. So that's when everything started. That's why we're not in the same place in space. That's why our moon is upside down, because we're simply not in the same place in space.
We're in the boot camp, or well, we're trying to help those in the boot camp.
Yeah, we are the cheerleaders. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Stay positive. I'm not throwing everything at you, but stay positive. The reason everything is thrown at us is because we need to carry that high vibration no matter what. And it's as simple as this. I had, I guess it was maybe a month or two ago, I was sitting outside on my back porch, and I looked up in the sky, and I had a cloud that looked just like Anubis, like from the head up. Well, the cloud turned and looked at me, and the eyes looked at me. And I was like, oh my God, you're Anubis, you're Anubis. And I knew, wait a minute, this is a simulation. Of course you're Anubis, because Anubis is a part of the simulation. And then later on, I had talked to my niece and got some downloads, because we looked into it. And this is the scales of weighing and measuring. Your heart goes on one scale, the feather goes on the other. If you carry the low frequencies and the vibrations of hate and envy and jealousy and all this crap, your heart will weigh heavier than the feather, and you fail. You can't make this leap. If your heart carries love, which is the highest frequency, you drop the negativity bag, you pass, which means you can go into the higher frequency. And this is what it's really about with the weighing and the measuring of the scales. And it's on an individual basis.
Yeah, we all have to do the work ourselves, and it's a good test for ourselves to really see what we are made of, and how much we can forgive ourselves, and how much, yeah, can we go and be light-hearted. I've heard a nice description about the enlightenment word, and that it's not about light, but it's about lightness, and it's about the lightness of the heart, basically.
Yes.
I thought that it was a very good description.
In the feather, it's the lightness of the heart, and those are in the higher frequencies. They just don't have the lower frequencies, so you can't carry them. If you carry them, you're not there. And this is the biggest thing. You've got to let all of that crap go, because it doesn't matter. None of it matters. What matters is you get yourself out. You get yourself to the higher density. You go with Gaia, or you're left behind. And I'm not seeing anything left behind. So it's being reassimilated.
Well, by the by the scale of insanity that it is right now, I think that's a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of darkness, and it's like, wow, is it really trying to hold on? It's like you're out there treading water and it's holding you down so you can't get into the boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have to deal with it. We're in the here and the now. We have to deal with this stuff, and it's going to be thrown at us. I do find that the more your frequency goes up, the less it's thrown at you, because it can affect you, and it's like a shield around you, and it's
They don't
literally
even really see you. I've had today the most weirdest glitch that I've ever had, and I have them quite regularly. But today was really weird because it was like I was riding the bus, I was in nature, I was in the river, so I was on a very nice high frequency, and here where I live, you have a person in the bus that gives you the tickets, takes your money and gives you the tickets. And I've never had that happen to me. This person came to me and I had the money in my hand and they were looking at me and they were stopping. And I was like, okay, maybe she does someone else before me. I'll wait a couple of seconds. She turns away. And I'm touching her. She looks around, looks at me, looks at the money and stands like she doesn't know what to do. I was like, okay, maybe she's just like in a bad mood. A couple seconds later, someone else gets in and she reacts to them and takes their money and talks to him. And I really had to poke her really badly that she turned around, and it's like 2 or 3 times that she just looked at the money and she did nothing. She was just blank, frozen. And I was like, okay, this is intense. Like, this is another level of what? It was like I was invisible. So weird.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's Matrix for you.
That was because I was listening also to one story that Campbell told about 2 doctors in the hospital that were just like going back and forth. I was like, well, that's really weird. I have also glitches, but not that intense. And yeah, today it happened, and it was like she couldn't see me. See the yeah.
Wow.
So that was cool. That was actually really cool because most of the times it's really subtle, or it's just the way that I see, the walls are moving or whatever. That like matter is very fluid. But that was really 3D intense. So yeah, that was really funny.
Oh my gosh. I noticed that I've been putting intent on people because I'm living in a blue state. They lifted the mandate, which was illegal to take the masks,
Yeah.
because we have a constitution that says you can't take someone's breath away. And I have people that still wear the mask, and I'll be thinking at them, you do not see me. Leave me alone. I don't exist for you. And they'll walk right by me. And if they'll see somebody else with the mask on, they'll start attacking them. And it's like, manipulating the matrix. We can manipulate the matrix. Here's how you do it. Intent. You don't see me. Walk away. Whatever. It's your intent that creates the next moment. So this is a part of it. We have to learn how to manipulate this arena that we're in.
Yeah, and it works. It works definitely. I do the same with here people. It's even more stupider than just like believing in it and wearing it like properly. Here the people you don't have a mandate anymore on the streets, but they wear it like this. They wear it like um for the dogs, those things.
Puzzle.
Yeah. And when I go somewhere and I look at people on the street and I yell at them in my head like, take it off, you breathe anyway through your nose, what are you doing, take it off. And I take it off most of the time, to take it off. So yeah, it really works when you really are intense with it, like you said, the warrior, the intensity of the warrior, because everything else we cannot hush around anymore. That's not working. Like,
no, we have to create what we want for our reality. It's waiting for us. The biggest is that we have to realize we're creator beings, and we do make each moment in here. And when stuff is thrown at us, because it will be, You're going to have to learn how to get around it, manipulate it, or change it. It's up to you what you're going to do. It's very interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it's really a mastery, and it's not because I found it always funny. I was always interested in different things, but I never wanted like to master something, like to get really, really good at one thing. I love doing a million things at a time. But this is the one thing that I am really, really, really into mastering, and is how to manipulate my own state of being, my own perception, my own frequency, my own emotions, and the reality bubble around me that I'm walking in. And it works really fine, but it's it is like a martial arts mastery. It's really tough, and it's like that's what a lot of people in the spiritual realm are kind of, um hopping over. It's that it should be like, no, you really have to work, hard and be persistent and have a discipline. Yeah, and that's kind of the only thing in my life that I'm really, really focused on, and it shows. It really shows. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I try my best too. I would like to be able to influence everyone who is a fin sitter to jump on over into my arena. That's my only goal. You people, if you're on a fence and you don't know which way to go, you come on over here, get to the higher vibration, stop doing what's easy, and work for it. See,
Yeah.
a lot of times the fence sitters, they only do what's easy. Oh, if it's easy, I'll do it. If it's not, I'll just sit on this fence. The time is getting short where you're going to have to make a decision. Even not making a decision is making a decision. So there's not going to be any fence sitters left. You'll either go to the higher vibration or you'll be left behind. And it's as simple as that. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it by saying, oh, you're going to a better place. No, you're going to be reassimilated. Get with the program. Get to the higher vibration.
Get your shit together or get reassimilated. That would be a good shirt.
Reassimilated. Go ahead, sit on that fence. Sit on that fence till doomsday. Because you know what? Not making a decision is making a decision.
Yes, but I think what I see, I mean, I get a lot of what is like happening more in America, from just because I watch people, like English speaking people most of the time, and from what I see, a bunch of stuff is coming out. So I think it's like a sprint, we're on the end round, and there's so much information being exposed, and I think that is really the work of all of those people focusing on bring it out, bring it out, bring it on, we are ready, show. So that's one of the more positive things that I see, is that it's getting exposed on the left side, on the right side, everywhere I look. It's like information is coming out. And yeah, if you're too lazy to acknowledge that, well, then that's your decision.
Consider, and I can't do anything for you. I can't do anything for anyone, nor can you. This is strictly on an individual basis. There's no more cheating off somebody, leaning on somebody, stealing somebody else's work. You can't do it. There's no piggybacking, no parasiting. This is an individual basis, and you are on trial now, and it's for your very being. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You going to step up to the plate, or you going to sit on that fence and be reassimilated with everything left behind? There's your choice.
There's your choice.
There's your choice.
I think that's a very good note to end. What would you say? I think that's like, what can you say more? That's it.
Yeah, that's it. It's as simple as that. But this whole reality, I'm really ready when because this will change, and the simulation will be over at a point, and we will transition because the veils will be lifted, and realize we are in the new earth. But we have to make the new earth what it is. What do you see for your reality coming up? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to make it a better world, or a better whatever?
Better reality bubble around you. Yeah, that's also what I'm focusing now on. I have been loud for the past 5 years, like really screaming, putting out information, just a year on YouTube. But before that, I have been sharing with everyone that I know on other platforms. And I was like, okay, I think I've done my job. I feel I've done my job now. I cannot say more. There's enough information out there. If you're looking, you will find something. When I started, it wasn't that easy. Even just 5 years ago, now it's like everything is ready for you to look into. So now I'm focusing on actually, creating the most peaceful surrounding for myself in my life, and the beings that are going to pop up in that. And I think all of these little reality bubbles will then they are already connected, but they will connect into a bigger reality. And it's gonna be really, really interesting. And I already see it coming, because it's just, no one wants to live like this.
No. When I first started this channel, I only did it so I could get out X amount of videos and be done. I thought it would be done already months ago. And it's like it keeps pulling me back in, because I've been complaining a little bit. I only did this to get out the information, and it's like I can't put it down because stuff keeps pulling me back in. This needs to be said. This needs to be said. And I've told everyone I'm ready for it to end. I want it to end, because it was never meant to be anything but information. It's out there. You can access it. I've got all those videos out there, and I was going to be able to walk away. Yeah. And I haven't been able to walk away.
Yeah. The time will come.
Yeah.
Where you can have your peace back. It's because it's stressful being on the internet, to be honest. It's really stressful. It's not for me. So I'm gonna also, this will be the last video in the terms of, spreading out information. And then I'm gonna continue with a little bit more of a subtle and just more relaxed thing, because I can't take it anymore. The internet is reality is the wild place, but the internet is even wilder.
Yeah, I've been real lucky that when I first came out, I was attacked severely.
Yeah, remember.
And then I've noticed that over time, I still get some attacks. They're rare. They're really rare. And most of the times they're shills. And these are paid shills, because they want you to stop, shut up, what have you. And so they're hoping that if they attack you, they can put you into a bad light, and then they can get negativity ramped up. I had this one person come onto my channel, I guess the last couple videos I did, a couple videos back, and they only put this message out, this hate message, so that they could get other people as bait to come in, so they could say something to defend me, and then they came back and tried to attack all of them. I had to cut them. I said, no, this is not the platform for you to start raging, venting, and creating negativity. This is not my platform. Yeah. So I blocked them. I had to, because I'm not going to put up with it. I'm only doing this because I have to do this, and I know I have to do this. Yeah. But I'm not going to put up and deal with and banter back and forth, because that is over with. We are on a precipice point. These fence sitters need to do something one way or the other, because it'll be done for them if they don't, because they're fence sitters. And this is why I'm here. I'm here for them, to try to rally them up to a better reality, and that is all.
all the bullshit is not needed. Definitely. Again, boundaries. Have learned a lot about that. But yeah. All right, Sonia. Thank you very, very much. It was I'm very energized now. I'm sweating. It's a good sign. Thank you so much for having a chat with me. It was wonderful. And you're welcome. I'm looking forward to your next videos, and I hope that sometime in the near future you will get your off time, your peace, and I hope that our job is going to be done, because there's only so much we can do. Like we said, it's just then it's up to the fence setters.
Yes, it is. All right, you have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Love to talk to you again.
All right. If I feel like, I'm definitely gonna contact you. It's really nice and refreshing.
Okay, have a great day.
You too, Sonia. Bye bye.
Bye.